Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Kulbhushan Chandel from Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. Today we are going to talk on module Effective Market Segmentation Criteria from paper Marketing Management. So students, let's see what we are going to learn from this module. We will be explaining the criteria for market segmentation. We'll be knowing why is the segmentation of market done. We'll also be explaining the importance of market segmentation, and finally we will know the main advantages and disadvantages of market segmentation. Let me start right from the market segmentation. Before explaining or defining the criterion for effective market segmentation, we must be clear about market, what the market is. A market is thus comprises of the people or businesses with a potential interest, purchasing power and willingness to spend the money to buy a product or service that satisfy their needs. Segmentation is the process of portioning the large heterogeneous market into smaller group of people who have similar needs and similar purchase behavior. There are various methods of segmenting the market, and when if we only one is selected for targeting, it is called concentration strategy, so that all the customers, including both existing customers as well as the potential customers, could be properly focused so that no customer of the company could be lost to the competitors. As defined by Philip Kotler, the purpose of market segmentation is to determine difference among buyers which may be significant in choosing among them or marketing to them. The main objective of market segmentation remain to establish the difference among the buyers so that homogeneous group of buyers could be determined. Making group of customers on the basis of homogeneous characteristics always help to determine the marketing strategies, target and goals for the business firm. Whenever we are just talking here that the determination of marketing strategies by segmenting the market, it helps to determine the product strategies, it helps to determine the pricing strategies, it helps to determine the distribution strategies, and it also helps to determine the promotion strategies for a business firm. And accordingly, it also helps to determine the marketing mix for a business firm, that what kind of product is to be made, at what price it is to be sold, and where it is to be sold, and how it is to be promoted. That is being helped by the market segmentation. It always make all the activities consumer oriented. Means in this very particular aspect, whenever we are just segmenting the market, we are focusing on the customers, and whatever the customers are requiring, their needs are focused, and it is always been made efforts to cater and satisfy the customer with regard to his requirements. The identification of the area where the customer could be created and market could be expanded, that is another objective which remains when we are just talking here the market segmentation. The identification of target customers by identifying their needs, tastes and priorities helps the business firm not only to decide their market mix, but even it also helps to decide their market strategies. The target market selection process. The process of selecting a potential market, segmenting, evaluating the segments, and profiling the market to better target it with a personalized marketing mix is the target market selection process. Whenever we are talking here, the personalized marketing mix, that always focus that what the individual buyer is requiring with regard to the product, with regard to the price, and where he is requiring, and how he is to be communicated. That means that you are targeting here the entire market by keeping in mind that very particular group of customers. The companies have to continuously revise its marketing strategies so as to meet the required changing needs of the market, because if they are to survive in the market, they have to think differently for the product strategies, for the strategies pertaining to the price, strategies pertaining to the distribution, and strategies pertaining to the promotion of the product. Further, let me just discuss the process of market segmentation. In the first step, the market segmentation, which includes the identification of the total market, the total target market which is covered. In the second step, the needs of segmentation, that is drive, why the segmentation that we are just doing. In the third step, the determination of the basis of segmentation, as we have discussed in the earlier module, that we can divide the market on various bases that may include the geographical basis, that may include the demographic basis of segmentation. Like that, we determine here the basis of segmentation. And in the next step, we focus on profiling of each selected segment. And furthermore, we evaluate the potential profitability of each segment and select segment for targeting. The purpose of doing this that remain that whether the segment which we are going to select that do have the profitability for the organization or not. And in the next step, we do select the positioning strategy for each segment. And last but not the least, developing and implementing appropriate marketing mix, which include that which kind of product of which quality, at what price, and at what place it is to be provided to the customer. We appropriately develop the marketing mix for each segment. And finally, which is very important one, that is the monitoring and evaluating and controlling the whole of the segmentation process that is done. Target market segmentation, while we are just discussing the process, the first step is to identification of the total market which we have taken earlier, in which the total market of all the potential customers for specified product that is taken. The purchasing pattern of all the persons has to be studied so as to become aware regarding the buyer's needs and requirement. To become aware about the customers who actually buys the product is the main cause and step. Like a recent survey revealed that main target market for the men's clothing is women. They are the main buyer for the men's itself, because their preferences, they are being decided by their better half mainly, or by the woman itself. But earlier the main concern was given on the men, as the men were considered to be the target market for the men's clothing. Earlier they were just focusing to buy their own products at their own, but nowadays their main choices and needs, they are being just decided by the woman itself. Then the next step that comes is to divide the total market into the segments, sub-markets or the subgroups, so that the target marketing programs could be made easily over there. In actual, there must be some difference in the customer's needs and demands. Potential products variation must also be cost effective, and implemented product differences must be evident to the customers. The data needed for segmentation could be collected from numerous sources, be it internal or be it external source. Many companies keep the information about its customers in the customer base database, and for the expansion of the customer database, the companies need to add the database of its potential customer and also in it. And this data is generally collected from the external sources. There are many lists available from where the data can be collected. It may be the magazines, the association members, census data, and even its customers can also be the effective external source to provide the data to the business firm. For effective market segmentation, the marketer has to consider both internal as well as external factors along with many other criteria for their data collection. Criteria for successful market segmentation. The success of market segmentation that depends upon various factors. The market segmentation has its own benefits and costs. In the modern times, it is not possible for any firm to cover the entire market successfully. That's why every firm aims at selecting one or few suitable market segments which are most suited for their products. For effective market segmentation, the following criterion may be considered. The heterogeneity is one factor which may be considered for segmenting the market. There should be a clear difference between the preferences of the customers for the same product. If the product is used by the consumers in same manner and for the same purpose, then there is no need of segmentation. But if the product is demanded by the consumers for different purposes, then there is a need for segmentation, or there is a need for segmenting the market. And on the basis of the purpose for which the product would be used, that may be the basis for the successful market segmentation. For effective market segmentation, the following effective criteria needs to be followed. It has to be identifiable. The segment or the group of consumers must be clearly defined. The marketers must be able to identify the members of the segments on the basis of some characteristics. It should be measurable. The effectiveness of segmentation depends upon the measurability of the variables on the basis of which market is segmented. The differences in the consumer preferences should be measurable, and it should be related to the measurable variables like age, gender, lifestyle, income, occupation, and so on. This is possible for various consumers, and for some consumers it is not possible. The company should identify such consumers and should also make a segment of them. It should be accessible too. Segment must be accessible in two senses. First, the firm must be able to make them aware of the products and services. Whereas secondly, they must get these products at the reasonable price. It must be easily accessible, means it should be easy to reach. The final criterion is that the market segmented so as should be readily accessible and reachable for the target customers. It should be the responsiveness, that is the another basis, or that is the another need for the effectiveness of segmentation. The identified market segment should respond favorably to marketing efforts. A clearly defined segment must respond to changes in any of the element of marketing mix, which includes the product, price, place, and promotion. We can take the example of a car manufacturing company, Maruti Udyog Limited, which offers cars for its different segments of the society, like small cars such as Maruti 800, Maruti Alto, Maruti Omni, middle level cars like Maruti Zen, and higher level cars like Swift Desires, and so on. They are offered by the company to the different set of segments. Hyundai and Maruti has two cars, Santro and Wagonars. These are tall boy cars, small but big. It has to be the significant when we are just talking about the criterion for the successful market segmentation. The another criterion for effective segmentation is that it must be meaningful for cultivating and exploiting it. It has to be significant. It must have adequate buying power. The demand viewpoint should be sufficiently bright and profitable too. Substantial. The segment must be large enough to justify a marketing program. Substantiality not only depends upon the number of actual and potential buyers, but also on their purchasing power. The proposed market segment must have enough size and must be approachable, having proper purchasing power. It should be growing market segment with continuous profitability and sustainability. The profit made in the marketing mix must be more than the cost incurred for it. Actionability. Another criterion for successful market segmentation is actionability. Marketing companies must be able to respond to the different preferences with the appropriate and profitable marketing mix as an action plan. Profitable action marketing mix means that whenever we are mm, making the product, offering the product, that product should be the cost effective too, the quality product too, and availability of the product should also be there to the customers wherein they are requiring. It should also be communicated well in advance to the customers. All the product features and attributes should be known to the customers. The size. It should be substantial in size. The segment should be substantial in size and potential to justify the expenditure made on it should also be there. The segmentation should be profitable for the company. Variations. The another factor which is kept in the mind while segmenting the market, that is the variations. It should show a distinct variation in responsiveness to the marketing program in comparison to other segments. Importance of market segmentation. Market segmentation is the reality of the market situation. Different customers have different needs and preferences. Therefore, market demand for all the products and services is heterogeneous and not homogeneous. For segmentation, when customers' needs are analyzed, we find that there are number of needs which are still unfulfilled, and by fulfilling these needs we can become a successful marketers. Segmentation ensures higher customer satisfaction and improves effectiveness of the marketing program. Market segmentation strategy is a customer-oriented philosophy. It includes the following advantages or significances in practice. Knowledge of marketing opportunities. While segmenting the marketers, marketers are in a better position to locate and compare marketing opportunities. In the market area where response of the customers seems to be poor, the strategy of approach can be readjusted so that the sales can be pushed up. Identification of the target market helps to know whom the company is analyzing as potential and actual customers. Another advantage of market segmentation is adopting effective marketing program. It also just remain the significance of marketing segmentation. When customer needs are fully understood, a marketer is able to formulate and implement different marketing programs which suits to the market. In the absence of segmentation, a single marketing program will be framed which may not be effective for all consumer groups. But because of segmentation, the seller can create different marketing programs which suits to the needs of different consumer groups. He can make better adjustments of his products and marketing appeals. Proper allocation of resources. Segmentation leads to proper allocation of marketing resources because customer is the focus of all marketing efforts and only target markets are served. He can allocate his limited financial and marketing resources according to the needs of different segments. Then the another importance which remain over there of market segmentation, that is better assessment of the competition. Market segmentation helps in assessing correctly the strength and weaknesses of the competitors. This assessment helps the marketer to adopt different strategies in different markets, taking into account the competitors' strategies. We can take the example of Pepsi and Coca-Cola. They are designing their strategies keeping in mind the promotional strategies of each others. Market segmentation also help to know the level of competition in each segment. If competitors has strong hold in any segment, there is no use in wasting resources on such segment. However, in the segment where the competitor's product fails to satisfy the target group, the marketer can successfully penetrate in it. Knowledge of customers' needs. Market segmentation improves companies' understanding of why customers do or do not buy certain products or services. It also provides an understanding that how a company can make adjustment to meet changing marketing demands. All marketing activities are directed towards the satisfaction of the consumers. With the help of segmentation, it becomes easy to measure the level of segmentation in each segment and also to make improvement in the segmentation level for satisfying the customer's needs. Adjustment in the products. Under market segmentation, marketers can make finer adjustment in their products and market communication accordingly to the changing taste, needs, nature, and the other requirement of the customer. We can take example of Maruti 800, Maruti Alto, and say Maruti has designed its product, which is Maruti 800, in accordance to the middle level segment or the lower level income group. They are making regular changes in the product as to make it or as to update that very product as per the customer's needs, because since long when the product is there in the market, customer require changes, they want updated product, and that's why I say Euro 1, Euro 2, Euro 3, they came as a updation, or they make after making certain adjustments there in the product. In the similar way, when we are talking about the computer technology, Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Pentium 4, and so on, these changes or these adjustments, they are just to satisfy the customer needs and to satisfy the one set of customers with regard to the use of that very product. Effective advertising appeal. Effective message can be propagated to the customers through effective advertising media when the choice, habits, preferences, need of different groups are duly recognized with the help of market segmentation. Different advertising appeals can be formulated for different segments. Hence, segmentation helps in making the advertising appeal more effective. They are making regular innovations and creativity efforts to make advertisement campaign more effective to the customers. Enhancing marketing efficiency. Market segmentation enhances marketing efficiency by offering specific pricing, sales promotion, and distribution channel as per the needs and requirement of that particular segment. This increases the marketing efficiency of the firm. Increase in the sale volume. By segmentation, the marketers can increase his sales volume. As we know, each segment has different demand pattern, and when the manufacturer satisfies the demand of different segments by changing his product, the total sale volume of the company that also increases. And finally, the benefits to the consumers. Market segment results in product wars between the giant manufacturers. For example, Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, Polo बनाम्स Mint, Kisan sauce बनाम्स Maggi sauce, Tata salt बनाम्स Captain Cook salt, Colgate बनाम्स Close Up, and so on. Each time this product war goes in favor of customer because they are getting now the better product at better price, and finally they are getting satisfied. While discussing the effective market segmentation criteria, the limitations should also be just discussed and should be known to us. The following limitations they remain while we are segmenting the market. The unethical and stereotype marketing activities may be the one limitation of market segmentation. It prevents the product from developing brand loyalty, negatively affect the customers. Negatively means that the negativity that affect the customer's response towards the marketing efforts. The process of market segmentation, it is expensive one also. There remain the possibility of product propagations. The target markets increases the cost of marketing. The efforts made for small niches to view the target customers could also negatively affect the customer's response towards the marketing efforts. So the students, let's now summarize what we have learned from this module in the last. We have discussed that a market which comprises of the people or businesses with a potential interest, purchasing power, and willingness to spend the money to buy a product or services that satisfy their needs. And the segmentation is a process of positioning the large heterogeneous market into smaller group of people who have similar needs and similar purchase behavior. There are various methods of segmenting the market, means dividing the market. And if we only one of is selected for targeting, it is called the concentration strategy. It is well-known fact that no two buyers are identical even if they are twins. They may differ on the basis of their nature, habit, behavior, income, age, education, profession, likings, dislikings, and bias preferences, and so on. Therefore, the main objective of market segmentation that remains to establish the differences among the buyers so that homogeneous group of buyers could be determined. The process of selecting a potential market, segmenting, evaluating the segments, and profiling the market to better target it with the personalized marketing mix is the target market selection process. Though the process is a sequential step, the ordering of various tasks varies with some tasks occurring simultaneously. The target marketing process is a continuous process due to continuous change in the market and market being a dynamic one. Due to this reason, the firms or the business firms have to continuously revise their marketing strategies so as to meet the required changes as per the changing needs of the buyers. Market segmentation is the reality of the market situation. Different customers have different needs and preferences. Therefore, market demand for all products and services is heterogeneous and not homogeneous. For segmentation, when customers' needs are analyzed, we find that there are number of needs which are still unfulfilled, and by fulfilling these needs, we can become a successful marketers. Segmentation ensures higher customer satisfaction, it is important to note, and improves effectiveness of the marketing program. Market segmentation strategy is a customer-oriented philosophy wherein the focus that remains mainly on the customers. Marketing people should also consider the disadvantages while going in for the target marketing and ensure that they avoid them. As the benefits are more, the practice of target marketing is widespread and will likely continue for into the future course, because the companies have to understand the needs of its markets and deliver an appropriate marketing mix to succeed. In order to do this, they have to necessarily define their market through the target market selection process. There are a number of logical steps which should be followed for the segmentation of the marketing, target marketing, and positioning exercise. The basic sequence is that the first step should be the selection of the base of segmentation and identification of suitable market segments. Then assessing the market segment as identified in the first step. Choose an overall targeting strategy. Deciding about which market segment should help its key customers and developing a positioning strategy for each of the segment to be targeted. Finally, a marketing mix is devised for each preferred segment to support product positioning strategy. Thank you.